I actually had a guy who was 6'7" and 260 pounds who was supposed to hit me with a left hook. And he was actually a guy that they put in that wasn't a stunt guy. Mm-hmm. And here he comes with the left hook and hit me with the right hand, dead solid in my temple. Boom! Right? And knocked me sideways, and I just looked up at him. And this guy's a giant. And I just looked at him and I said, he said the left hand. He just looked at me and he went,
Hi, I'm Alex DeLerma, and this is the Cinema Gym. The Cinema Gym is all about helping you transition from the stage to the screen. Hello, Rick McCallum.
You look familiar.
So do you. Haven't I seen you in a horror film?
Yeah, well, yeah, when we were smashing your face in the glass. Yeah.
That was not a horror film when you were smashing my face in a glass.
Well, it wasn't for me. It might have been for you.
We actually originally met, I think, on, it was either Dark Wolf or Born. It was Dark Wolf, because Dark Wolf came before Born.
Yes.
Yes. And you were, so you've been stuntman, stunt coordinator for how many years?
43.
Woo! And so you're having a very interesting second chapter where you transitioned into an author, an award-winning author of paranormal. I don't want to call them novels. They're not novels. They're real life. They're real life experiences that you've had since you were a little kid. It's just amazing to me. What a life, and it's continuing. And you got another book coming out, right?
Yeah, it'll be my third one. So
what's the title?
I kind of think it might be called. It's kind of strange. My guardian angel just called for backup.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good.
Because I get into a lot of weird stuff.
That's good. So I want to discuss stunts a little bit as they pertain to acting, because very often actors are asked to do things that maybe they're not really qualified to do, but it looks cool because you can see, oh, that's really the actor doing it. Do real fight moves? This is the question. Do real fighting skills work on camera?
Not so much. I mean, it depends. Now, back in the old days, John Wayne and Yakima Canutt was a legend of the stunt business, got tired of throwing the straight right, which has to go straight in, makes it hard to cover. It has to be absolutely perfect.
Right.
It doesn't look strong.
Right.
And if you actually throw it like a boxer, it's too fast to read, right? So, I mean, if you ever watch John Wayne movies, I mean, you could see that thing. You go get a sandwich by the time it landed.
You telegraph the punch.
Whoosh, yeah.
Right.
Well, you had to show it.
Yeah.
So as things start to get better, you know, John Wayne Yakima Canutt invented a thing called the pass-through thing. So instead of going straight into everything.
Good demo.
Yeah. Well, instead of doing
give me
this,
the before, right? Mm-hmm.
Which made it also hard to show the reaction. Because most of the time, if you're going straight, it's just like that. It's got to be straight back. Mm-hmm. Doesn't look that good.
Yep.
Right? Well, the pass-through method is when you go way out here and pass across the eyes. Okay? So you've got this much space for you to time this whole thing to come through. So even if it's a little off, you know, even if I'm a little past you and you do it, it still looks good.
And if I'm a real fighter, and even though I'm told, okay, don't hit Rick.
Yeah.
And actually, if we're going to do a real jab, stop just a few inches, because you've got that muscle memory.
Yeah.
And so what can actors who have some fight training, who have like real life fight training, what can they do to prepare themselves?
The best thing to do is just, when you get there, just talk to the stunt coordinator, because you're not going to really be able to practice it, because you're not going to really know what to do. Right. And the one thing that I always try to impress upon people is movies are not three-dimensional. You don't have to get this close. Right. I mean, I can be 2 feet away if you have the right camera angle. Right. So that's one thing that you have to impress upon people. You don't have to get that close, because I actually had a guy who was 6'7" and 260 pounds who was supposed to hit me with a left hook. And he was actually a guy that they put in that wasn't a stunt guy. And here he comes with the left hook and hit me with the right hand, dead solid in my temple. Boom! Right? And knocked me sideways, and I just looked up at him. And this guy's a giant. And I just looked at him and I said, he said the left hand. He just looked at me and he went, you know, because he just hit me as hard as he could, right? And I'm like, don't do that.
He was a trained actor?
Yeah, he was a trained actor. But
and he could fight?
No.
He wasn't even he had no fight training. It was
No, not at
so
all.
that becomes even worse.
Yeah. Well, especially when you throw the wrong hand. If you're supposed to be throwing a left hook and you throw a straight right, then
So we've got Justin and we got Joseph here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are filmmakers. We met in the cinema gym. They of course want the best actor.
Yeah.
But sounds like you're saying, hey, go ahead and get an actor who at least has fight training.
Well, the nice thing
rather
about
than somebody who has zero.
Yeah, exactly. No, let me explain something to you, because actual fighters know how to throw punches.
Yep.
Okay. They don't look that great on screen because they're too fast and they're too straight.
Yep.
Right. And everything gets in the way. Right. That's why they do the big sweeping things. That's why a lot of the Asian martial arts films got so big, because they were always doing the jump 360 kicks, because you could see them coming and then they could have fantastic reactions to them and things like that. The best friend that you have as a stunt coordinator on the set is these guys, the cameramen.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many times that I'll set something up and you'll be on a thing where there's a brand new cameraman and they're moving around. And you miss every single time, right? So you got to tell them, guys, if we're aiming for here, you got to be filming from here. Don't be wandering around. But an experienced guy can see when stuff is kind of moving a little bit side to side, and they kind of just sneak over along with the shot that they're looking for. So a really good cameraman can save your butt, and they're the best friend you have on the set.
If you're an actor, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're an actor, it sounds like some good advice would be seek out the stunt coordinator or who is in charge of the fight choreography as soon as possible. Don't wait around and wait for somebody to, can you show them how to throw a punch really quick? That's how people get hurt. So maybe the actor makes it his or her responsibility to.
Well, first thing I always did was go over to the people and said, we're doing a fight scene today. What have you ever done? Have you done any fighting in other movies? Do you have any any skills that I might need to know about? Is there anything that you particularly like to do that you think you're good at? And then we'll incorporate that, because when you do something really well and then you put it in, it makes the guy look great. And they're always happy that you're trying to pull the best out of them. Yeah. And you can also see when there's a big mistake that they're doing, and you can correct it before you get there. And sometimes the big mistakes aren't that hard to correct. I mean, it's just nobody ever showed them the right way to do it. So I always take them aside beforehand. Always.
Fantastic.
And I always ask them, what do you like to do?
Just on a final note, the first few projects an actor, usually the first thing an actor will book is usually something before they're in the union. It's a non-union thing. It might be a guerrilla project, ultra low budget. They don't have a stunt coordinator, but they want to do something. So maybe it would be wise for that actor to go ahead and, in the script, it says, hey, I'm fighting this guy and I'm jumping over here and doing this. Can we talk a little bit before I show up? Is someone going to be on set that knows how to handle that? Oh, there isn't. Okay. Who am I going to be working with? Just because you've heard horror stories, somebody shows up and it's like, oh, well, we saw on your resume that you do jujitsu. So, or you're a boxer. So just beat them up.
And by the way, if you're going to cheat on your resume, do not put down that you played Rhett Butler, okay, because you're going to get caught. I mean, I have seen so many outlandish things on resumes. It's like, really? You were in the 32 Olympics? You're only 28 years old. What are you talking about?
I'm going to admit to something right now. When I was an actor, very early when I first got to Hollywood, I'd never had any boxing. A couple decades later, I took boxing. I claimed on my resume I could box. I went to the audition, and it just doesn't work, guys. They put us in the room, they teamed us up, and they said, okay, don't touch each other, but let's see you guys move around a little bit. And, it's not shadow boxing, but Yeah. And they immediately could see that I had no idea of a proper stance. My chin was up. It was completely wrong. So if you're going to put something on your resume, at least have a teensy-weensy little bit of experience in that particular fight technique.
Yeah, you can go to places. See, now here's something. This is for especially out here. There's different places. There's like Jam, which is a gym that's up a little farther north. It's called Joining All Movement. And then there's other different places like the college right there on Coldwater that like on Wednesdays, a lot of stunt guys come out and they'd be happy to show you the basics
awesome.
and stuff like that. So, or if you have one living in your neighborhood, just talk to them.
Right.
I mean, most stunt guys are pretty cool.
Awesome. That's a excellent thing to end on. Thank you so much, man.
You're welcome.
Thanks for visiting the Cinema Gym. If these videos are helping you and you want to see some more, please like, subscribe, comment. Let's keep this thing going. If you're interested in classes, seminars, or private coaching, you can visit the website. Hope to see you in the gym soon.
TheCinemaGym.com for virtual one-on-one coaching for camera.